Hello students, hope you are preparing well for your exams. So in the previous videos I have told you about the solid state. Now I have come up with my next video and it is based on solutions. So students, today we are going to study about solutions. In your previous classes you must have studied about solutions. So let's have a look what solutions in 12th class is all about. Let's start. This is lesson 2 of your book. Solution is a homogeneous mixture. It's homogeneous mixture and it is made up of 2 or more components. One is the solute and the other is the solvent. So when we combine solute and solvent, it makes a solutions. So we can say on the basis of the number of components of a solutions, then suppose if in a solution there are only 2 components, then we'll be calling it as a binary solutions. So in our 12th class, we are basically concentrating on the studies of these solutions, its types, its properties. So now what is solute and solvent? Solute is the component that is taken in the lesser amount and solvent is the component that is taken in the greater amount, larger amount. So suppose you are taking sugar and you want to dissolve it in a glass of water, then the sugar that you have taken is the solute and the water that you have taken in which you want to dissolve sugar, it is solvent. So solute plus solvent makes the solution. Solute plus solvent brings out solution. It must be very clear to you. Classification of solutions. On the basis of the physical state of the solute and the solvent, we are classifying the solutions. If water is used as a solvent, then it is known as a aqueous solution. And if water is not used as a solvent and maybe some other substance is used as a solvent, then it is known as the non-aqueous solvent. Now the other thing is that you must have heard about the homogeneous and heterogeneous. Now what is homogeneous? If the mixture, if the components that you have taken as the solute and the solvent and you are dissolved it and you are not able to see the particles, then it is homogeneous. Suppose I take sand and I dissolve it into water, you will be able to see the particles of the sand. Or you just take the example of a chalk powder. So such type of a solution is known as the heterogeneous. I hope it's clear what is homogeneous and what is heterogeneous. Depending upon the amount of solute dissolved in a solvent, we have the following types of solutions. The number one is how much solute we are taking in a solvent to dissolve. So on the criteria of this, on the basis of this, we are classifying the solutions into 3 types. The number one is the unsaturated solution. What is unsaturated solution? A solution in which more solute can be dissolved without raising temperature. So students, you are not raising the temperature, at the given temperature only you are dissolving the solute, then it is unsaturated solution. Now what is saturated solution? A solution, suppose you take a glass of water and you are dissolving sugar in it. At one time, no more sugar can be dissolved in it. So now it's become saturated solution. Without raising the temperature of the solvent, you are continuously dissolving the sugar. At a point will come when no more sugar can be dissolved. So such type of a solution is known as saturated solution. Now the question arises, what is then supersaturated solution? Supersaturated solution, a solution which contains more solute than that would be necessary to saturate it. That is, you have increased the temperature of the solvent in order to dissolve more and more solute in it. Now the solution that you have got, it is supersaturated solution. Solubility. When you are we are talking about solute and solvent, then solubility is definitely going to come. So what is solubility? The maximum amount of a solute that can be dissolved in a given amount of solvent. How much amount of solute you are going to dissolve in a solvent, that is its solubility. Generally, we take it as 100 grams. How much amount of solute in grams you are going to dissolve in 100 gram of the solvent is its solubility. Generally, the solubility of a solute, it depends upon the following factors. That is, number one, the nature of the solute, the nature of the solvent, the temperature of the solution, and the pressure. So, these are the four factors that play a very important role in the solubility of any solute. In this chapter, now the chapter that has come in your 12th class, it includes Henry's law. What does it say? It says that the partial pressure of a gas in a vapor phase is proportional to the mole fraction of the gas. That is, the partial pressure of any gas is directly proportional to the mole fraction of it, and when we remove this proportionality sign, we are getting the Henry's constant. The law is given by Henry, so it is Henry's law. Greater the value of KH, greater the solubility of the gas. Remember this thing, the value of KH decreases with the increase in the temperature. So, we can say KH is somewhat inversely proportional to the temperature. With the increase in temperature, the value of KH decreases, and when the value of KH increases, the solubility of the solute also increases. So, we can say the aquatic animals, that live, they prefer to live in cold water because it has more dissolved oxygen in it as compared to warm water. Applications. What are the applications of Henry's law? In the manufacture of soft drinks and soda water, you must have taken these things. Carbon dioxide is passed through them at high pressure. When the carbon dioxide is passed at high pressure, its solubility also increases. Number second, to minimize the painful effects accompanying the decompression of deep sea divers. The deep sea divers, when they go deep into the sea, they suffer from oxygen deficiencies, and in that case, if we dilute the oxygen, then its solubility decreases. So, what they do? They take instead helium gas. The third application of it is, at high altitudes, the oxygen level decreases, and sometimes the mountaineers, they suffer from anoxia. Anoxia is the attack on some part of the body due to the lack of oxygen. Sometimes it gets corrected, the patient recovers soon, but sometimes if it is for a long duration of time, it is very fatal for them. Students, that's all for today. I have taken Henry's law today. In my next video, I'll be taking the colligative properties. I hope you liked my video, and don't forget to comment, share and subscribe my channel.